Welcome to the MUR-CUB cabinet kit. The MUR-CUB comes packed flat, and we're going to take you from box to bed. And Deborah and Hani are going to walk you through it. Let's get started. Getting oriented starts with the assembly instructions, which includes information about parts and hardware. And speaking of hardware, find the hardware pack, pull it out and set it down. So let's get everything unpacked. Take everything out, lay it out nicely so that you can find everything and see everything, because when we begin to assemble, you want to group them into the components we put together first. So get everything out, all the little legs, all the parts, until everything's unpacked. And finally, it's a good time to open up the hardware pack, cut it open, lay it all out. As we go into assembly, you'll want to easily find all the parts, handles and bolts and screws and dowels. Okay, here we go. So there are 4 big parts to assemble first. And there's Hani telling you that the arms, or side panels, are first. So at each step, reference the assembly instructions so that you can select the hardware and the parts that you'll need. So as they assemble the arms, Hani here, Deborah here, you see they use dowels. They use bolts. They'll finger tighten bolts and then tighten with the Allen key, and that's typical of almost all the assembly. And now the second big part to assemble is the folding deck. So gather again, based on the assembly instructions, the side pieces, the wood block, dowels, bolts, and then put the dowels into the ends, as Hani's doing. Fit the ends on, like that. And if you find the occasional dowel that's a bit tight, tap it in, like that. So fit everything on, finger tighten the bolts, tighten with the Allen key. Now we need the wood block. Use the clevis pin. See that the rounded top edge is inward. See that? And get the washer on, and then fit the locking pin, and there you have it. Not bad, right? Folding deck is done. Folding door is number 3, and that may be the biggest job you're going to have here, because it's got a leg assembly as part of the overall door assembly. And here we have barrel nuts, and we have to get the alignment right. Watch how the hole is facing forward, and then when you start to assemble, you want to be sure they're aligned. The crosses on these barrel nuts give you some adjustment if you need to make sure it's aligned properly. And then you tighten it up and you have a leg assembly like that. Okay, we filmed it with the latch facing up right there so that you have the right orientation to assemble the leg assembly to the folding door. And the first step is to fold up that folding rail and then get your dowels into place like that. And again, we have barrel nuts. Get them oriented right. See, the hole is facing outward like that. Leg fits on the dowel. Bolts are fed in from the other side. Finger tightened. And then use the Allen key to tighten it all up. And finally now, feed the short bolt through the bracket into the threaded insert nut. And we get the leg assembly fully attached to the folding door, and we're done with part 3. Okay, and Hani wants you to know it's part 4, the last of the big assembled parts, the top. So here we've gathered the parts for the top, the side panels, the hardware. Getting oriented is important. Felt over the edge. There's no overhang. This is the rear where the labels are. The front has a little bit of an overhang on that rail. Again, getting oriented correctly at the rear. Felt overhang. And the rail has no overhang. So with the dowels in place, fit the panels, put your bolts in, but importantly now there's a bracket that needs a screw on each side. 2 screws, that's it. Wow, we're almost there. Home stretch. Putting it all together. Starts with the arms or the side panels. And here Deborah is holding the headboard and Hani is tightening it up on one side, like that. And then on the other side you can see the dowels fitting and the barrel nut going into place. But just finger tighten these bolts and leave it a little loose, because the next step is to put the lower rail in. So you see we've left a gap. Next we do the lower rail, get it in place. See those wood blocks? I'm going to tell you about those in a minute. The gap on the headboard is still loose. We pop the rail in with its dowels. Now take a look. You see those wood blocks? They're towards the floor. They're lower. Okay, make sure they're oriented correctly. Right, so we have the arms, the headboard, the lower rail, all assembled. Hani is tightening it up. All the bolts now should be fully tightened, ready for the next step. And the next step is really the last big assembly. So you find your hardware, look at those assembly instructions, and get the lower part of the folding door into place and screwed on to the side arms. Then you fold up that door, you can latch it into place, you can fold over the leg assembly like that. And then there are 3 slats that the folded mattress sit on, keeping it off the floor. You lay them into place, there's some pilot holes there, you screw it in. So it's time to put the folding deck in. There are 2 dowels to put in first, one on each side. And see, Deborah is setting it in position so that she can then grab it from above, lift it over everything. And then the little block fits over the dowel in a little notch. And once you have it in place, screw the bolts in. There are threaded insert nuts in the panel. Just screw it in nice and tight. Wow, Honey's getting excited. We're down to the last little bit with some handles. You can do this twisty thing she's doing as long as you don't scratch the finish. Get your bolts in. You can tighten it up with a screwdriver. Okay, get this cube into position. Fold the leg assembly over like that. And now Honey will lift straight up, walk straight over, tilt the thing into place, slide it back, a little adjustment maybe, and oh wow, congratulations, you did it.
Video Shopping Network, an Amazon affiliate. To see this product on Amazon, click the link in the video description below. You'll be able to see current pricing, product reviews, and any special deals. Desktop users should see the Amazon quick link below the video. Mobile users will need to click the little down arrow below the video first.